Okay, beware of a bearer of gifts. This one is pretty good. You should be aware of someone who's just giving you gifts if they're a stranger, I mean. But if you're astute and you're on the ball and you think you can take them, take all the gifts they got to give you. And when it comes time for them to pull some funny shit, just kick their ass. But on the other hand, if they never pull any funny shit, then you've probably found yourself something pretty rare. You've probably found yourself a friend, and a good friend. And being a friend is a virtue. Okay, and on the equal opposite side of the spectrum from beware of a bearer of gifts is never look a gift horse in the mouth. Which one of these two wise old sayings are we supposed to be listening to? Let's examine. Historically, the most famous gift horse was the Trojan horse. So, what difference would it have made for Troy had they inspected their gift horse, had they looked their gift horse in the mouth? Something to think about. Always look a gift horse in the mouth. How about that? And be wary of a bearer of gifts. A little while back, a friend said to me, never look a gift whore in the mouth. A gift whore in the mouth? If you're the type of person who's receiving a gift whore, then you're also probably the type of person who didn't pay attention to all of these little pearls of wisdom when you receive them. And you're probably not the type of person I want to be wasting my time with. That being said, always look a gift whore in the mouth. After all, I'm not one to cast my pearls before swine. Einstein said something very interesting, and this is a quote. There are only two things in existence that are limitless: the universe and man's stupidity. And I'm not so sure about the universe. Speaking of casting your pearls before swine, a pearl of wit and wisdom, and I'm going to discuss that some point later, and I'd like to get your feedback. And BP, where's my comment? Dude, comment. Hey, Choice, BP said he'd comment and he didn't do it. Okay, based on the flood of emails and the overwhelming response I've received, I've been able to accurately deduce that no one gives a shit about my people helping people idea. Patience is a virgin. God help us all, because we're not really willing to help each other. If we lived in paradise, we'd be looking for a way out. At least I tried. You can't talk about it at school. You can't talk about it at the post office. As a matter of fact, you can't talk about it on any governmentally owned property. The topic is God. You can't talk about God as far as the government is concerned. There is what is considered to be a separation of church and state. But that only applies to me and you. That doesn't apply to the government. If it did, then the post office wouldn't be closed on Christmas, Thanksgiving, Ash Wednesday, Good Friday, and Easter. But it doesn't apply to the government at all, does it? So, if we're really going to separate church and state, then the post office should be open on Christmas, Ash Wednesday, Easter, Good Friday, Thanksgiving. And if we're not going to separate church and state, then stay the hell out of my schools. What do you think? I'd like to hear from you. Now about that aforementioned pearl of wit and wisdom. She's fantastic and fascinating, wonderful, and fills my life with wonderment. She's always doing little things to add to the joy of my otherwise workaday world. Take yesterday, for instance. She gave me the gift of allowing me to dump her trash. I know, it's only a 50-gallon barrel full of liquids and solids and weighs in at around 150 pounds, but that's not the point. That day she also filled up my trash chute with fish boxes, which took me about 35 minutes to clear out. In addition to that, she did me the joy of filling 2 of my sinks with fishy-smelling ice. What a wonderful person she is. And it's not that I mind taking out her trash or doing all of these little things to help her make her day better. It's not like I want to take lunch every day anyhow. In addition to that, she sometimes asks me to go over and watch her station so that she can come into my station and wrap her fish. I understand that wrapping her fish on our side makes her job easier because we have a machine that does that for her. And I'm very happy that she was able to figure that out all by herself. I just wish that she would find a way to make her job easier that didn't simultaneously make my job harder. But it's not only the little blessings of the gifts she gives that endear her to me. She's also constantly asking me questions to let me know that she cares. Like,
why you live in the ghetto?
And
how many children you got?
And
why ain't you fast like Eric?
And
I bet you think she's lucky to have you.
And let's not forget her borderline psychic comments. Like,
You always got Sunday off. You got it made, don't you?
that being said, I'd like to add that my pleasant job is made almost rapturous by her razor-sharp wit.
You is a mess.
I've heard it said that you can't find an oyster in the swamp. Well, that can't be true. Because were that true, how could a pearl have come from there? Thank you. This comment may be added by the viewer anywhere in the previous webisode that the viewer feels is applicable. Some things are as pleasant as a fart with a chunk in it. In Shelbyville, Kentucky, Dr. John Patterson is being sued by Philip Seaton for removing his penis after Philip Seaton was in a trucking accident. There's a lot of penis mutilation in the news this week. Dr. Patterson said Mr. Seaton's penis was cancerous and he only removed less than an inch. An inch is as good as a mile. He claims that another doctor removed the rest of the penis. Quote, "What I saw was not a penis. What I saw was cancer." In fact, there's too much penis in the news this week. Before Mr. Seaton was sedated, the doctor told him he would only cut a small portion of his foreskin. Liar! In fact, they joked that it was more or less an in-and-out surgery. Not funny. Mr. Seaton's wife was not consulted, even though the entire time she was sitting in the waiting room. I wish I could cut to that Indian who looks at that litter and then that tear runs down his face. Indian, litter, tear.
And she would say, "Hey, could you stop a minute and help me out here?" "Yeah." "Ain't you talking about dump truck? My dump truck's rotten to the core. I know you think you look like you was busy, but don't you think you's not busy today? You ain't fooling nobody."
Your aspirations are higher than their skies, and their skies are lower than your glass ceiling. Don't let them upset you. You're better than that. Bye-bye. On the next go-around, Cryptoracle. Probably shouldn't discuss it, but I'm going to anyway, and here's how I feel about it.